Yep. All right. So with the new bill that's being passed, I was kind of thinking maybe create a policy that I know this is your guys' meeting room. We have the equipment here. Have all boards meet in this room and live stream from this room. We do have a shared calendar. The director of the boards could have if they don't have a county email address, have a county email address, have access to that shared calendar. We can all schedule back and forth, see what's scheduled, and be able just to use this. We know that the meetings are being live streamed. They're there. We can upload them easier. The minutes are being taken. Agendas can be uploaded a lot easier to the website.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We don't have to worry about meetings being taken at Cracker Barrel at lunch, not being recorded at all, and we're completely out of compliance. So
Good
I
point.
thought all of our boards was meeting here. Do they not?
I mean, when we talked a while back, I was like, hey, can you give me a list of all the boards in the county? There is a lot of boards in the county that I have
There's
no
no
clue.
official rule for that, right?
You know
Yeah.
what? I don't think the library meets here.
I don't believe
No, they don't.
Yeah.
So that's one board to do.
Yeah, so I mean, it's pretty much like us getting hold of these boards and saying,
Yep.
hey, you need to start being here.
Yeah.
Like your meetings have to be live streamed, have to be in compliance.
Yep.
And I know we're getting to July 1st, and I know I'm kind of pushing it right to the last minute, but if I can get a list of the boards, their directors, their contact info, I can reach out to them and just say, hey, let's do this. So
Yep.
I would say that
Absolutely.
would be a good thing to go ahead and do from
I don't know.
perspective.
yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if we can make that a policy tonight or something, or that even has to be a policy, and maybe they just,
I appreciate you bringing that up because that wasn't even on my radar.
yeah. Would that need to be a policy for the boards to follow?
I mean, we could adopt a resolution or something to that effect, but
Gotcha.
if you guys want to go ahead and vote to require
I think it's a
all
good
public
time.
boards appointed by or doing business in the name of the county, that they meet in this room, I have no problem with that. I mean, I think that's consistent with what the state law is going to allow us to comply with the state law
Correct.
easier because of the change. The other thing that is changing effective July 1st is that going forward, all of our meeting notices, agendas will have to include a section that has the let's see, what is it? It's any board meeting notice or agenda must provide the following information regarding each appointed officer serving on the board: the officer's name, the appointing authority, the beginning and expiration date of the officer's term of appointment, and the information under section 6 must be published on the board's website, if any, or the appointing authority's website, if any, or published on the internet through computer gateway. So that's something else that we'll have to be in the future for each of these boards. I mean, I don't know how many of them there are either. I mean,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have to give them notice that they're gonna have to be in touch with you about every time that a notice for a meeting goes out, that
Yep.
they're gonna have to say who appointed them, who they are, how long their term is, and when it's over, in advance of those meetings.
Yeah, and
we will have to do the same.
Yeah, we can easily put notices on the website too. I mean, it's just having to have that communication there. I mean, that's the key. So
I'll make a motion to put forth a resolution tonight to make the commissioner's room the official board meeting room of the county.
I'll second that.
And I'll make that unanimous.
sweet. And do you by chance have like all the contact information of all the director of the boards? Or do we know how to
start
start digging.
Searching
Yeah.
and digging.
All right.
If you gave me a list of the boards, I could probably get you the contact information for you.
Okay. All right.
Why, was that all you had?
Hmm?
Was that all you had?
No, we got the one more thing, big thing. Then I'll leave you guys alone.
I've got a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, just, I know, did you, one of the things that's on the agenda tonight is transfer station repairs and stuff. And I know I reached out to you and we talked about, did you ever find any more information about the cameras?
The camera system and the cost. Not yet.
Okay,
I know it's not going to be expensive at all.
okay.
It's not going to be bad. I would say,
Me, or Kevin and the guys was all out there today. We're running stuff, so I don't know if you might want to get some boots on the ground if you need something ran with what we're doing.
for what we discussed yesterday, I won't need anything ran.
So you're confident that just you can run point to point on satellite or
To get internet out to
Internet.
the, what's it called, the scale house.
Mhm.
Yes, point to point's fine. Yeah, that's more than fine.
Okay.
So then the cameras, if you said you wanted to keep them local there at the scale house,
Yes.
then we don't have to
Well,
worry about.
but I didn't talk to these guys about that. I mean,
Gotcha.
So give them the options, if you don't mind.
Well, I mean, it really depends on location. If you want to keep
Yeah.
the cameras at the scale house, then pretty much on-site DVR, something there, just a little camera system. Inexpensive.
In my opinion, we don't need the video camera to be brought into the courthouse to be able to watch it from here. Do you agree?
I mean, not necessarily, but just like at the satellite locations,
I mean, if you do satellite locations, those are a little bit more expensive. They can run on solar, but then you run into your additional monthly cost of your cellular data, which is around $30 a month.
How much?
30.
30?
Yeah.
I like the fact that we're able to pull those cameras out.
Which, I mean, if you do a on-site, like an on-site DVR with a couple of cameras there, you could also pull them up depending on the model. I mean, if you go a cheaper route, the camera quality's not going to be that good. You're not going to get, let me get you some prices.
Yeah.
Let me work on some prices and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't kind of want to sit here and just kind of guesstimate. So,
My viewpoint on that.
Well, I wanted these guys to chime in and
yeah,
give you an idea of what they're thinking, so you know how to get prices.
yeah. I mean, it's up to you guys. If you want to be able to pull those up on your phone anytime and be able to go back and see what's going on, we can do that. Or if you just want something really cheap and standalone where you have to go and just pull video, which we can do.
And that's probably fine too.
Yeah, but also you gotta also remember when you have an on-site DVR system, there is also the possibility of it being stolen and you lose your recording too. So you gotta worry about that also. So,
Makes sense.
so you're gonna pay a little bit more for an off-site storage or it being synced back to here somewhere or something. So
Pretty high security out there. So.
yeah,
But I see your point.
yeah. I'm just saying.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Like with being on-prem or on the transfer station, and people go in and out or they dump stuff there, like the transfers or the satellite sites now. What's to say that someone didn't break in and try to destroy a compactor or something else out there? Or, not saying they would, but what if something happened? And we need someone out there ASAP to,
Yeah, I mean-
hem them up or whatnot.
If someone wanted to come in there and do something really bad and they see a camera, they're gonna look for a DVR.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna look for it, yeah.
They're gonna look for a DVR.
Well, I mean, we don't want anybody going out there stealing our trash either.
Gotcha, yeah. So I mean, the benefit of like what you have at the satellite sites, if they go steal that camera, we've got the footage. So I mean, you're looking at $30 a month for a camera, but what's $30 a month having that peace of mind that you might?
Well, I don't think that's much of an issue really, because I mean, it's going to generate its own money
Yeah,
out there. So,
and those cameras that we got up there can, detect, keep up with motion, track the person walking, zoom in, zoom out. They're pretty nice cameras, and I think they're around 300, 350 a pop.
Real?
Yep.
Yeah, they're good quality. And then if someone was still try to hook it up to the internet or something, we would get an alert.
Absolutely.
And we would see who's got it and where it is.
Yep.
And so I like that security aspect with Rio.
Yeah. I mean, I would probably go with something like that, pay a little extra a month and having a standalone DVR there that someone's going to just take that you have. All your evidence is gone.
yeah.
So,
It was just my thought with the upgrades going on out there and whatnot. Better
That's-
safe than sorry.
That's the one thing I just wanted you to bring up so we can get in conversation and these guys have a chance to
gotcha.
tell you. To me, I don't care.
Yeah. So
I mean,
you're looking under.
Short of I don't want our own satellite system.
Yeah. You're looking a little under $1,000 for cameras. And you're $30 a month per camera. So.
And I think it's past time we probably had something out there. I mean, honestly, we've gotten lucky.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah. All right.
Then, also one more thing before we jump to this, the CO2 detector was installed today
Oh, good.
and tested. It is operational, being monitored, and it is good to go. Got
Good.
it signed off today. So,
Excellent.
all right. Last thing. You want to pass those around? And the last thing is an Otera. We'll talk about an Otera AI autopilot as a piece of software. Adam and I sat down, what was it, a couple weeks ago now?
Last week.
Last week?
Yeah.
Very early AM meeting, and demoed this. I actually got to see this in action probably a month ago with a webinar. So Otera is a company that we use already, and they do our RMM software. So that's remote monitoring management. That's what gives me an eye into all the systems, computers, into the county, their health, status, disk usage, also remote management. If I'm at home or wherever someone's having an issue, or even here down in my office, I just remote into their computers, fix their stuff, servers, updates, all that. Patching. That's all. Also, Otera does my ticketing. So employees send me tickets. That's my ticketing system also. So it's pretty much my go-to every day. I use this every single day. It's my go-to package. They are releasing a software called Autopilot, and it is an AI agent. So imagine an IT assistant, but it's AI. So it is a full-time 24/7 employee with no benefits, no nothing, takes no time off. When somebody submits a ticket and says, my computer is running slow, just a little ticket like this, my computer is running slow, with the user's permission and me being able to set policies, it can respond back and say, hey, Jennifer, with your permission, I can pop in and diagnose your computer. She allows it, it checks her computer out, finds out the printer spool is running 80% of the processor, It goes, hey, I found the issue. I've cleared the issue. How's the computer looking? And she responds, hey, it's looking great. He goes, okay, I'm clearing the ticket out. Have a nice day. It did all that. I didn't even know about it. It doesn't even bother me. It's just little tasks like that it can handle without bothering me throughout the day to be able to handle other tasks, bigger tasks throughout the county and to keep up with stuff.
Like adding printers, if there's software you can put in, you'll install the software.
Patches.
Like Andrew could go around, especially with this computer bidding that we're gonna do with the full replacement. Like this could free up Andrew to be a lot more hands-on to help out the county. And he is a one-man band to where he has no help right now. And so, and we got a massive discount on this.
Yeah. So right now they have, where they just released it, they have an early bird special to Atera customers, which ends this month,
They end of July, or end of June.
June.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much half the cost. But I mean, I can go on and on about, so it just freeing up me majorly with the little tickets that get brought in. It can handle those. But I mean,
So this is versus a part-time employee.
correct. This is a 24/7 employee. No slip fall accidents, workman's comp claims, no benefits, no
Insurance, yeah.
insurance, no nothing.
And I was skeptical when Andrew told me about it, but then after I was
Yeah.
researching it, getting on there, I was very impressed. From a cyber guy, I was very, very impressed with it.
And I mean, Atera also, they are highly ISO rated. They are HIPAA compliant. Also,
No wonder you got a discount.
So how long does this last?
It will last us to December 13th, 2026.
No,
Correct.
I mean, and then what?
then we renew
At,
If we want to.
if we want
at the
to.
list amount?
Yes,
So yearly?
yearly.
No, look at the second
Yes.
page. Second
Yeah,
page.
second page. So that's the total. So this price right here, the $43,654, that is for a year and a half
Total.
of licensing. So that price actually goes down the next renewal because you're cutting a half a year off. It is a big chunk of change. I know it's something to think about. But yeah,
You have it in your budget? Or?
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not even, no. This is a wish.
Basically, you're asking for $58,928 and then,
No.
Or 43,654 on the second page.
oh wait a minute, I'm sorry, that's the discounted amount. Sorry. You're asking for $43,654.
Yep.
And then yearly, $29,965.
Yep.
Yeah, so this would cover us for a year and a half to December 2026. And then after that, it would be about 30. If we wanted to keep it.
And so what could you get an IT helper for?
So I mean, what? I'm not sure. I mean, what is part-time pay in the county?
Part-timers on clerical.
Well,
Depends
depends
on
on-
1198.
Huh?
I mean, it would depend on the position.
Yeah.
After creation and appropriation. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be a difficult question to answer.
For $30,000 a year, a part-time IT person would be hard to
I
get.
would think so.
For $30,000 a year, part-time?
A part-time IT person for $30,000
Well,
a
I mean,
year.
how many hours are you working? I guess that's the,
Andrew works about 150.
I think what Andrew's saying is if
you're gonna be working in IT, you're probably gonna be looking at trying to get a full-time gig for a lot more.
Yeah.
You're not
You're
gonna
not
be very
gonna come
many
in here
people, you're
working
not gonna be
part-time for
competitive in the
$30,000 a
market.
year.
Not that the public employment is super competitive to begin with, but I think you'd do well outside of like competitive.
Yeah, for me, I wouldn't even blink at that. Yeah.
Just not.
Well, I mean, we gotta ask.
Oh, yeah.
Or I do,
Yeah.
because I don't know anything about computers.
Yeah.
I guess I could come in and help you. Like I
You
said,
could if you.
yeah, I mean, I know I can find an on and off switch about anything.
There is plenty of times where you just turn it off and turn it back on, and it
Plug it in.
magically fixes it.
Can't we just put that on recording? Hold the plug, put it back in.
Sometimes that's what it takes.
It does. It does sometimes. There is a lot of funny memes.
And you
on the
need to know
internet.
this by,
Yeah.
you need an answer from us.
by the end of June. So I mean, even if you guys were to say, okay, then I would have to get a hold of council for
We'd
a
like to have a special meeting.
special meeting for them to say,
So
okay.
you need to know from night,
Yeah.
basically.
Yep.
Well, I guess my thoughts on I think the biggest reason that I would lean toward you getting this assistance is because the refresh is coming.
Mhm.
And the work that you're probably gonna have to do there, and it's gonna really pull you away. I work with this kind of stuff. It's a nice luxury to have. For the user as well, right? You're not waiting and waiting and waiting to get something fixed. So
You have to,
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to be. I approve it, or if you can find the council to find the money somewhere. I mean, that's on them. Find the money. I'm going to make the motion to approve it.
I'll approve. I'll second. It's because I know with the refresh coming, like Greg said, and you being one man, and I don't think you've ever taken vacation since you worked here.
I mean, it's rare.
Yeah.
And just to be, this is a services contract, right?
Yep.
Essentially, and it's being offered at a substantial discount,
Yes.
more
Substantial.
than 50%, right?
Yep.
And
56.
the request for approval is based on sufficient appropriation by council.
Correct.
We need to put all of that in the meeting minutes.
I mean, it would be a good benefit for the county too. I mean, like I try to respond as fast as I can to tickets. Also, I mean, when it comes to AI, also, I mean, Jennifer might say, "Hey, my printer's not working." Something that simple, and it might say, "Hey, let me look into it." It's going to dig into it, and if it doesn't find anything, real quick, it's going to let me know too. Then, hey, Andrew, here's the ticket. Jennifer's printer's messed up. Well, I've dug. We cannot find, any kind of solution. Then I want to contact her, come up there. It's got a paper jam. Something's going on. There's always going to be a mechanical issue or something that it's not going to be able to do. So
And it's always learning and passively learning.
it's
And
always learning. The big thing we was talking about before the meeting too, after tickets are created and after learning, it can build a knowledge base for the county, which is a big thing. I think having a knowledge base would be awesome. So if there is issues with LAO or Xsoft or all the programs we use, after tickets are created and we start even interaction with me, it can review the tickets that I do with the employees, and it can build an article and start building a knowledge base. It goes, okay, Andrew did this, Jennifer said this, and already we have a solution.
Yeah.
So if Lisa has the same issue that Jennifer had, it knows that and goes, I can fix that.
Yeah, and then it builds a script and deploys it.
Yeah.
So that way Andrew doesn't have to walk through it next time.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff.
Then it's just being able to send those knowledge bases out to employees and say, here's the fix, or here's how to install this, or here's a way to make this program run faster, tips and tricks, and it's
Super.
Okay.
And I would also like this in there, we're making the purchase pursuant to Indiana Code 5-22-10-5.
which is a purchasing agent may make a special purchase when there exists a unique opportunity to obtain supplies or services at a substantial savings to the government body. And is this the only, like, is this a data processing contract or?
Data processing.
Yeah.
License agreement. It is a license agreement.
A license or agreement for software programs or supplies or services?
Yes.
And are there any other service vendors that can do the same?
They're the only one right now with this platform.
Yeah, Microsoft's not even close.
And only one source meets the using agency's reasonable requirements.
They're the only RMM platform with autopilot right now.
Under Indiana Code 5-22-10-7 as well.
Sole source.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want that
Yeah.
as part of the approval process. When you do, if council does sign the agreement, assuming Randy votes here in a second, we need to keep the contract separate from all of the other, we need it in its own category of contracts using special purchasing methods.
Okay.
Well, both these guys know more about this stuff than I do, so but if they think it's something we need to do, you think we're something we need to do, I'm gonna go with it.
Appreciate it.
So,
Then, is it okay if I reach out to council and to see about getting a special meeting? Seeing what dates and then working with Jennifer, see if we can get it pushed through. Or see what their thoughts are, where they can
Assume
find
that
it.
there might
Appreciate
be,
it.
there might be a special meeting on.
it does make you
Oh,
ponder
really?
the question, do computers really make our lives easier?
Sometimes.
I'm starting to
Just
question.
ask an extremely existential question.
I think I'll go to ChatGPT and ask that question.
I mean, there's plenty of days where Chisholm Slate sounds so nice.
Well, I mean, I operate my whole life without one, other than my cell phone, you know. But,
Yeah, there's some days that it just,
and I know without that technology, I wouldn't have the technology in my cell phone, but still. Anyway,
Put it on. Well,
Is that it?
almost seems like we spend as much man hours
That's
working on
it.
things as we do.
I appreciate it. Sorry I took up a lot of your guys' time.
It's all right.
You're right. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.
We done? Did you guys, anything else from me? Thank you.
Maybe beforehand,
do what?
public meeting.
All right, Kevin Hall.
It's all Mondays.
Oh,
Thanks for sticking around.
How was life? It was awesome. Yeah, awesome. Cold. Yeah.
I ain't got a whole lot, just some updates on some invoices and live contracts that we got going on right now. The top page there is our CCNG, small structures that we have going on in the county. There's 4 of them. The contractors are on site at Kinderhook Road right now.
Thanks.
So you can see their dates here. These are updated dates. I talked to the foreman today, so these come from their office today of between them and Silvercon on providing the material, and they're doing the work. So I think these are pretty realistic dates. So we'll kind of get this out and let the public know, these roads are going to be shut down. Like I said, we jumped the gun a little bit on Kinderhook since it was already shut down anyway. They wanted to get done all they could, and I believe they got all their sandbags and 2 pumps running down there trying to get the water in the right place right now. So get it dried out a little bit.
We're gonna be hustling.
Yeah. So that's that. Next page is Bridge 28. Of course, this long drawn out project, but this is just kind of an update from our consultant USI on that project. They got their route survey plat done as 100%. The hydraulic analysis is 70%, and structure size at 25%. So according to them, everything's on track, and we're doing okay on it, but we'll see some invoices come through on it. So it's just kind of an update on where we stand right now. I attached we're 6 months in. I attached our work request. This is a program that we've been using for a while. So year to date, we've had 178 work requests from the public. So right now, I think we've completed 59. We got 19 in progress and 95 still open. So you can kind of see pothole repair and sign maintenance seem to be a trending thing. So anyway, that's what we got going on that side of things. I think the only other thing I have, and I'll bring it to the next meeting, is our ADA contract from Title VI. It's I did get an invoice on it, so it's still moving along, but things going all right. I think that's all I got that you guys
Which 28? We only got one utility out there?
Jackson County REMC. It'd be hard to believe there ain't something else out there, but it looks like that's the only response they have right now.
That's a nice luxury to have. I just
Yeah, but maybe, I was just thinking, you would think there would be a phone line or something that would be in the way, but
All right.
I'll look, I'll let you know. I'll see see if there's anything else listed, but that's all they got for now.
No big deal. It just,
But yeah, that's
it
luck
just stuck
if it
out.
is.
Yeah. Usually there's a whole page.
No, it's far enough out there, I guess.
I want to tell you on behalf of the county that everybody appreciates the job that you guys are doing out there at the transfer station and the time that you put in, the extensive time that you put in at the transfer station. Kevin and the guys also finally got our mess cleaned up that was on the hill. That's gone. So they've kind of went above and beyond there.
Yeah, well, hopefully you'll be up and going there before too long.
While you're sitting here, Kevin,
You think I'll look?
also on the agenda down the way, since I know we've mentioned your name quite a bit,
Yeah.
floodplain ministry. Just gonna bring it up since you're sitting here. I know you sent an email a while back, but
Yeah. I kind of stand with the value that we put on it and where it stands on that. And I kind of compared it with you guys to the ADA and Title VI thing. It's kind of like, I think it's one of those positions that it's not a problem until it's a problem, then it becomes a lot of work. And I feel like that's probably the kind of same thing. So I don't want to sign up for something for very little value and then it turns into being a lot of value. So that's just kind of where I stand with it.
Understood.
I don't
yeah.
care to do a position, but also be compensated for it. So, and if somebody could tell me exactly on the hours we're going to get it to or what we could negotiate it down or something. But
Who knows, right?
nobody knows.
Yeah.
So it's like signing the unknown.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
Everything on schedule for chip seal.
Oh yeah, that's a good thing I should brought that up. I don't have dates for that yet. I've been working with the vendor, and they've not provided it to me yet. I was shooting before school started, but we can make it if they can make it.
Yeah.
We'll have our end done. But I'm hoping that's what I wanted to do, just because it makes it easier to navigate around all that. But we may not make it. But I'm still waiting for a response back from them. I've talked to them a couple of times. They're trying to nail down some exact dates on, because they kind of go from the top of the state, working their way down place to place. So
Is this I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm confused. Is this different than the interlocal
Yeah.
agreement that we have with Jefferson County?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is, we applied for, we got 20 miles on CCNG.
Okay,
Same, just like the small structures, it's just,
Yeah.
I think it's like $516,000 worth, right, almost 20 miles. So Intergreen, nope, that's the wrong one. Road Solutions got the contract this year. So we're just nailing down the actual time. That's what the guys have been working on, those 20 miles, trying to get them, all ready for chip seal. So
okay.
I'll let you know, hopefully by next meeting, I'll definitely ought to have a date
Yeah, good to.
nailed down.
Just curious. I knew around the corner at some point. I just didn't know when.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right, no problem.
Thanks, Kevin. All right,
Bye, Sarah.
thanks, guys.
See you, Bob. Tomorrow.
Next on the agenda is Blevins Disposal. Thank you guys for waiting around. Sorry it's taking so long.
Much else to do. You guys mind if I sit or?
Absolutely, please do.
Tell you what, I've been waiting on a hip replacement for 2 months.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. George Hall. Nice to meet you guys. I tell you something, guys, I am now part owner of Blevins Sanitation. That's bought in, and I'm a Scott County boy. And when I see all that stuff about the recyclables and the trash, and I want to help. So, what in a perfect world, what would you like to see as far as these drop sites, or do you still want to see them drop sites? I don't know, but that seems to be a big issue to everybody.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've got our issues on a number of levels, but it's a great service.
Right.
that
Oh
we
yeah, it's
provide.
unbelievable. Yeah.
So that's kind of the dilemma here. We've got a great service that we offer, but at the same time, we spend money for that service too.
Right. Right.
Now, having said that, it comes with a lot of, in my opinion, a lot of headaches. Folks maybe, throwing their trash out too early, trash
Right.
on the ground,
Right.
a lot of things in that nature.
Right.
But having said that, just to be fully transparent,
Sure.
the SASCO program is profitable.
Okay.
Okay, so from that aspect, I think we've said all along, even in the last meeting, I mean, we're open to any type of solutions folks have to make that program better, and if you're here for that, then we're all for it.
Well, I'm here for that.
Okay.
I can tell you. That's why I'm here.
All right.
I want to make things easy for you guys. We talked a little bit about, right now, do they collect money at those sites when people dump, or they do not? Okay.
No.
That would probably be some kind of voodoo, right? Somebody get robbed, show the world if you did that,
Well,
or something. You never know.
again, that's all handled through the sticker.
They
Process
buy the
it.
stickers and then they, just, for me, I would just like the county to be completely out of it. I mean, I'd like to see the service be there, but I don't think the county needs to be involved in it. It's hard to, it's hard for the county to pay the right person to do that job
Right.
the way it needs to be done.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And I know that you guys are experienced. You know this.
I've been-
You know this business.
I've been in business for 40 years.
I know.
Since I got out of college, I just went straight to garbage business. My dad laughs at me all the time, but I've made a good living doing it.
Yeah.
And so, that's something that we can do. And we have a 9, we got 10 trucks down here. Yeah, we got 9 trucks, and we're up here already picking up garbage. I mean, so it's not like it's out of our scope of work. And, if, I know you guys pay whoever does it now, a subsidy of, $55,000 a year or something like that. Because I've seen those things working out, but I don't know for sure how many people come and how many people don't know. I mean, we'd be available to start a pilot program just to see how many people show up, how many people don't show up. You know, and I'll come myself and work it. I'll work each side myself every day that's coming until we get this all worked out. But you know, to subsidize that, we would need something, but not $55,000. Right? Well, I mean, I figured up today it probably cost us somewhere around $15,000 a month to do it. Right? So, you know, if we could do a little bit on top of that, or 20,000 or 25, you know, but then that could go away after a while, after I see, you know, how much this work's involved. Because I don't know, you know, you have to tell me how many people show up, because I don't know how many people. I mean, is it 100, is it 50, is it, you know?
It's a lot.
Because, you know, we
It's a lot.
could even at some point go ahead and charge the people while they're there, and you guys will be out of it altogether.
So
I mean, that's the way I would rather see.
how would that look? I mean, you're talking about charging them coming out. I mean, how would that look? I mean, how does that
It's charging by a pickup truckload, you know, kind of like you do at the transfer station. If they show up with a pickup load of trash, just charge them accordingly. You know, or if they got 15 bags, charge them for so much, whatever. There would have to be a minimum charge and then a maximum charge. Because, you know, we got our trucks are 13 yards, but they're all brand new. He seen a picture of a couple of them yesterday. But we want to try to help, Greg, because I know you guys don't have time to fool with that. And I feel like as long as I've been doing, I'm a professional. I can get it done myself. You know, just as long as we got a truck up there and I can deal with people. You know that, Greg.
Sure.
It wouldn't be hard at all to do. You know, but if we started out at some point with the goal in mind to be for you guys to be out of it altogether. That, you know, but to start it off, you know, it's kind of like a pig in a poke for us. I'm not sure what we're going to get into. If we get some kind of subsidy out of it, and, you know, we could start as early as July 1st if you want us to.
Well, if we do any kind of subsidizing, we would have to do, we would have to take bid contracts.
But isn't there a minimum charge that you can stay under that you don't have to?
So, I mean, theoretically, right, we could.
Yeah.
It's an RFP type situation, but I'm just gonna warn everybody in the room that in my review of county subsidies for services contracts involved in public utilities, they're bid out by every single county in the adjacent area that I know of,
Well, I mean,
regardless.
yeah.
Okay, whether or not the subsidy is in excess of, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, all the way down. And the reason being is that you're essentially offering, you know, a somewhat monopolistic opportunity to an entity that you're not offering to everybody else. So there is a fairness aspect to
Okay. Well, I mean,
that is
I mean,
always
you're
part
just
and
not
parcel
giving
of-
anybody else a fair chance.
Yeah. Right, and that's something that we don't want to do, is try to bid it out, but still, you know, there's some kind of cost involved in it. You know, and we can do what needs to be done. What you said, we can do. You guys will be out of it all together, but on the flip side of that, you know, we're in the business to make money if we can, right? I mean, that's kind of where we are. And, you know, there's a lot of different things that, I mean, I know you said at one point in time you let him dump after hours right there at the transfer station.
We did, yeah.
And that's over, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But, and even if you could save a little money with me, then you could buy you a new compactor out to transfer. I mean, there's all kinds of different ways that you could make, because that place, when I opened that place, when it first came open, I went to work for Rumpke. And we would haul 6, 7, 8 compactor boxes out of there per day, because Scottsburg was coming, Austin was coming, Hardy Lake was coming, you know, anybody around it would come, and it was all day long, just it never slowed down. And I was out there the other day, and I don't think I seen but 1 or 2 people coming out there, and I don't know, Austin's still back, did they come back?
Oh, yeah.
Austin's back, okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's money to be made out there, Greg.
It depends on what day you go out there.
Yeah.
Really. Because on Saturday, they're lined up all the way down that road.
Well, that's good. That's good. I'm sure there's a minimum charge for a pickup truck load. But what I'm thinking, there's a makings of some kind of deal here, guys. And, you know, I'll work and work and work hard to try to put it together, but we can do what you need to be done. But on the flip side of that, what happens if we sit out there all day long and nobody comes? Or what happens if we sit out there and you only have 2 trucks come and it's $40? I mean, you know, it costs us $1,000 just to get up there and come back.
Well, I mean, she
And
can
that's the
tell you,
risk of
That's the risk.
business, right?
Sure.
we could tell you how many people's going, because by the amount of stickers that were
Stickers are sold.
sold.
Okay, well, you have that, you probably don't have it available, but
I
you
can get it for you tomorrow. I can email it to you.
Yeah, so we have a number for you. I mean,
well,
we
there
can
you
put a
go. I
number-
mean, that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah,
But if there's some kind of subsidy, then you absolutely have to bid it. I understand that. Because, you know, some places do and some places don't. There's a threshold of how much you gotta spend before you have to bid it out.
yeah.
And I don't know how many people's come up here and talk to you guys about this, Greg, if there's been any at all. But, you know, it pains me to see it. Because it's not your guys' fault, right?
I mean, we haven't advertised for, you know, you contacted me, we haven't advertised. But whenever we start doing where we're gonna have to subsidize, we will have to send out a,
RFQ, okay.
yeah,
And we haven't had an active contract in years.
yeah.
And so we're gonna have to revamp all that and make sure we're up to, everything's good to go. Just to make sure we're all covered, whoever it may
So
be.
you guys are running now without a contract with him?
Yes.
I think that was just found out last meeting. Or, yeah, so.
I think it auto renews. I wouldn't say we're
think that's-
out of
Oh,
contract.
okay.
I would say that
Gotcha.
the contract is old and has been renewed as part of an evergreen clause
Gotcha.
for like a pretty long period of
Good.
time.
Thanks.
So, and that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So
Yeah.
that leaves room for me. You know, whatever, I mean, I want to help. And that's all I want to do. You know, if we can make a little money off of it, that's good along the way, because that's what we're trying to do. But I think the exposure.
Well, you go into business to make money, yeah. You don't.
The exposure for us being here means a lot. You know, because you'll see our trucks at all locations, you'll see what we're doing and what we're trying to do. But, you know, it needs something needs to be done, Greg. You know that.
George, do you guys do residential pickup now?
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
all we do.
Okay, I didn't.
We have-
I didn't know. I wasn't familiar with the Blevins
Yeah.
company, so.
Well, Donnie and I have been friends for what, how long, 25, 30 years?
Yeah, about almost 30.
Yeah. And they've been in business for 20. So he's got, go
I've
ahead.
been in the business about 35 years, but I had my own for the past 20 years. I retired from the city of New Albany. I used to run their sanitation. And then when they went private, I started my own. And I was a city councilman on the city back when I went private. But I went ahead, I seen how easy, by a stroke of a mayor's ink pen, 30-something jobs was given away. So I went ahead and started my own. And Lord bless, in the last 20 years, I've been doing my own. And of course, we've expanded. We do sanitation, residential, commercial. We do porta potties. We do small demolition. We do excavating. We do that as well. So we've got a little variety going on.
You guys are based out of New Albany then?
Yes, sir. Down on South Street, Greg.
Oh.
We run in 5 counties, and Scott County is one of them. Of course, I actually got children that live here in Scott County, and I just bought a house in Scott County. It's a rental house, but nevertheless, I bought a home over here. And I mean, I know this don't have anything to do with this, but I stay in New Albany because the next mayor's race I'm going to be in it.
He's running for mayor.
The city of New Albany. But nevertheless, we've been having, and I've had municipality experience for years. And even way back in 86, 87, when I used to work for the city part-time. But then all the years, like I said, we know what, and I get it about keeping people somewhat happy. So it leaves you guys alone. And I understand that. And we'd be more than happy, like, to take this over. And you should be, this should be out of sight, out of mind to you guys.
That's exactly right.
and we can put it there.
And that's what it'll be.
That'd
Yeah.
be nice.
That's what it'll be, Craig.
We just want a good service for the taxpayers here.
Right.
I mean, look, the trash has been a luxury here in Scott County for folks, right?
Right.
I mean,
Yes,
so
sir.
without, causing financial problems, we want to do what we can to continue services.
Oh,
if
it's
possible,
fantastic
right?
service,
I mean,
yeah.
but it's becoming increasingly difficult to do that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a lot like Andy. I'd like to be able to, it'd be great to be able to push this over on somebody else and run that service without so much our involvement on the satellite side of it. So,
Be waiting, there won't be no issue if I say, well, I'll stay there all the time, Greg. You know that.
yeah, I
Yeah,
get
I
it.
had to, and I own it, but I'll, long, you bought in it, but we're gonna be hands-on. I don't sit at a desk and, I dress up like that, I come to the I come to present yourself. But otherwise, you see me in bib overalls, or you see me in a work shirt, and I got my hands dirty. But we're hands-on,
Yeah,
and we wanna make sure, and like I said, I get it, you guys gotta look good. And that's why it's our job to make you look good.
right.
And so, if you try to trust us with it, then that's our responsibility. So, and but we do a good job. You won't regret it.
That's
Like I said,
absolutely right.
we know what we're doing.
You know,
And we're fair pricing too. That's one thing I take into account. And I also pastor a church in Charlestown, but the scripture teach me to be honest in all my dealings. And so we treat people like we want to be treated, and we're fair pricing. We don't try to get rich off one person. As long as we can put bread on the table, then we're good.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because that would be a big concern is gouging,
Yeah.
our folks out there.
Oh, no, we couldn't do that.
Currently, right now, stickers $1.50.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Even my own race I've had for the last several years, which I got several thousand customers now, that by word of mouth and by us being fair priced. And I could give you a list and you just go down the list. I don't care who you pick. You just pick anybody, and most likely we're cheaper than everybody else, but we're a fair rate. So, like I said, so we can live too. And we're not trying to. I got people on the garbage service that don't even pay a bill because it's either pay for your medicine, some of the elderly pay for your medicine, or pay your garbage bill. And I can give you some of those names, but we're not in for that. If we can't help somebody along the way, then we're not doing our job.
Well, let me ask you a question about the Sasco bags. So the Sasco bags is a pretty big winner then for you guys?
No.
No,
I mean,
okay.
it kind
it's not a big winner, but
it breaks even for the
Take
most
care of
part.
itself.
Maybe just a hair more than that. But, I mean, it does and it doesn't because, that's just to pay for the collection. But he dumps out there and then the transfer station eats that disposal cost because none of that's built into our stickers.
Yeah.
So there is kind of a,
Okay.
Yeah, kind of catch sweet too again. But if we was able to do this and take it over and we set it up with the people, and would we be able to come to your transfer station? That'd help alleviate some of the costs, so they don't have to pay as much, and yet we don't go in the hole.
yeah, I mean, I certainly work at something out there. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. See, that makes it better, right?
All right.
At least we got someplace we can go dump. And it don't have to be after hours, Randy. Just, we'll be there whenever you guys are open. I'm not trying to cause you.
Yeah, we won't do anything, push a button. and
Yeah, cause
push
you
it
guys
out
any
over
problems.
there.
I think I hate to spend this much money on scales to then turn around and we don't break even on it because I'm sure we can figure something out. Right now we're paying out a lot. But that's a big thing that probably needs to have in private conversations. But, you know, if we could get to where we could, we know how much we're gonna lose.
Right.
I mean, the scales are still working because we're measuring.
Right.
And we're knowing, and then the scale can become a way of
That's right.
knowing where we're at.
We gotta be
We
close.
never had a baseline.
Well,
There you go, yeah.
Closer.
We never had a baseline.
You know, one thing, I hate to change the subject, but that guy was talking about the cameras. You want to make sure that camera sees in the bed of a pickup truck. Because people bring propane tanks and oil and paint and everything they can bring, and you'll be able
Right.
to track it right back to who it was. Because if you don't, who knows what they're gonna bring.
And here, let me put it this way.
Yes, sir.
Here's an issue, and this is one of the biggest issues with the program. And this is why I think that you guys, this is why I would rather you guys just charge and us not do the sticker program, okay? I was out at the transfer station one day and a guy come out there and he's got a whole pickup truck bed of parquet flooring stacked in a 30-gallon thing. And with our program, he only paid $1.50 to get rid of that bag of parquet. So that's the kind of things, I mean, that's why I think you have to be able, that's why I want to get rid of the sticker program. And that's what, I mean, a lot of people in this county, and I'm going to make a lot of people mad when I say this, but I'm just going to throw it out there because it's the facts. A lot of people in this county is
Spoiled.
for lack of a better word, screwing the county
Yeah.
over, and that's why a lot of people don't want to see this program go. All right, but you know, you guys have got. I mean, you got to get rid of it. You're paying by the pound. We're paying by the pound. Everybody's paying by the pound. So the days of okay, I'm going to tear this house down and I'm going to put it inside this bag and I'm going to get rid of it for $1.50 a bag.
And the thing is, that
Has
money
to.
then went back into the Sasco account.
Right.
It didn't go into the disposal account,
Right.
so that was a hit.
And that's what's happening. And I've got pictures of this. Boys, I can throw pictures up here all day long of that stuff. So for me, that's why I would rather you guys just, you charge what you want to, whatever the fair price to people. Because you're going to have older people come out there who only has a 15-gallon bag.
Yeah.
And they just don't go through because they recycle and they don't go through much. And that's why we need this program.
Yeah.
Mostly,
Right.
is for them people, not the people who decided, okay, I can put half a house in a 35-gallon,
Oh, and they
trash
try.
bag and get rid of it. You know, because that's people who's abusing,
Right.
in my opinion.
You're right.
And I don't care if anybody votes for me again after I say that or not, to be honest with you, because that's the truth. And if that hurts, I'm sorry.
Well, if you guys like what we're saying, I mean, what do we need? Do we need something to say something, or we need a motion? We need what? I don't know how, but we can do what you guys are asking us to do, Greg.
Yeah.
And I'll do my homework from here. I'll go when it's time and watch how they do it, and that way I'll know what to expect when I get there. So, I don't want to push you guys. I'm just saying, I think there's a makings of some kind of deal here. And when she gets me those numbers tomorrow, I'll be 100% sure.
Yeah, I think that helps. I mean, it's a good first step. I mean,
Sure it is.
from our standpoint, we would just probably have to get that RFP out to, gain some interest and get some pencils sharp, and if that's the direction that we want to go.
I think we should.
I know you know
Oh, yeah.
everything about it. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I know George.
Yeah.
George from Austin, he's been in the trash game a long time.
Yeah.
I respect that.
I think we probably ought to have an executive meeting over it and see where,
Can't do that. It does not qualify for an executive session.
workshop, I'm sorry, a workshop.
A workshop would still be a public meeting.
Well, that's fine. I mean, we just need to sit down and be able to talk about it. That's what I mean.
That's fine.
Yeah, just got a notice.
I
It's
said
like a-
executive, I meant workshop,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But, you know, the three of us need to sit down and have a discussion on which way we want to go with this and have a game plan and see what we can do. Like I say, we haven't advertised. You guys are the first ones who come up to us and presented us that you're interested.
Yeah, we are.
So,
Even the transfer station, we'd be interested in running that probably as well too, you know? Cause I opened that one and I opened the one in Madison right afterwards. Cause this landfill closed first and then the Jefferson County landfill closed. And Rumpke hired me and I went to work for him and I opened this one and that one. So I know what goes on at these transfer stations, but it's been a while, you know?
Now, I'll agree with what Greg said. I appreciate y'all coming in here, wanting to make a deal, ready to go, rock and roll. I want to see all kinds of, like, the Sasco things, all the financials, all the documentation and stuff. Being a new commissioner,
Sure.
I want to know what's in and out
Sure.
and all that, and then the RFPs, and then put it out for bid, so that way everyone, y'all may be the best price, y'all may not, but also give everyone a fighting chance to get in and whatnot too. And just make it fair for a free market, right? And so I want to do everything legally and sealed bid if we have to. But that's where I'm at. I liked everything y'all said, and if y'all are the lowest, when we put up bid, I would, love to have you. So that's where I'm at. Nothing against y'all, nothing.
Oh, I didn't know,
Yeah.
no, I'm not taking anything the wrong way,
Yeah.
I get it.
No, I mean, from my standpoint, I appreciate you coming in and giving us another way to look at this.
Yeah.
From a professional standpoint, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, trash should be garbage in, garbage out, that's the way it works. It's that simple.
Yeah.
It don't have to be hard,
yeah.
you know? People try to make it hard all the time, but it's not hard.
Yeah.
It's a bag of garbage, man, that's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No,
Yeah, well, we'll certainly be in touch. I mean, I got your number, but do you have a card or anything
Well,
with you
they're
guys?
still being made. We have new ones
Okay, that's
being made.
fine.
We
yeah,
have-
we'll get some.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get
Oh,
with
sure.
George.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll give them that information.
yeah. I'll
Okay,
just-
or whenever you email, if you want to just scan one and email to me, that'd be fine. I can email it to these guys.
Okay, all
I
right.
could do
I
that
think
if you
that,
want.
I don't know if I called you last night, but I called both of you guys.
Yeah.
And, but no, we're interested, and, you know, if it has to go out for bid, it has to go out for bid. As being a salesperson, I wish that would not happen, right? Because, you know, we don't have deep pockets like some of these big companies do, but, you know, we can make a good showing out of it. I think we can, especially when I see the financials that make a difference.
Yeah.
Good too.
Well, listen, I appreciate you guys' time.
Oh, thank you
Oh,
guys.
thank
It's
you.
great, it's
I
great.
appreciate meeting you.
Good seeing you again.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And if you need me for anything, you let me know.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll do whatever I gotta do.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Done.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Donnie.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, there, no problem.
Appreciate it.
Well, the courthouse is closed tomorrow.
Oh, that's
But I will email you. I'll be in here working anyway. We've got a meeting at noon. So I will be here, but the courthouse will be locked out.
Okay, all right.
I'll get that email to you tomorrow if I don't
Okay.
tonight. No problem. Thank you.
Thanks,
You
guys.
too. Have a bye.
And if you need me, call me. Don't
Okay.
hesitate.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next item up on the agenda, Sheriff Gooden, Sheriff's Department awning invoice, K-9 fund.
Okay, the awnings, I emailed you the pictures and the quotes.
Seemed pretty straightforward. Where would that money be coming out of? Or,
That's a $1 million question. It's not in his budget, I'll tell you that. I mean, there's nothing on building maintenance there.
On top of which, there's, he contacted me, he's got a computer operating system down that operates a central air unit, and
Correct. The HVAC controller for the new part of the jail is currently down.
it's just a controller.
It is the controller. They had I talked to Doug earlier today, they had a tech up there. They think they figured out so the controller is dead. they think where the controller is dead, it's not sending the signal to the handler to say operate at optimal efficiency. It's operating at 30%. So they have
Okay.
a company coming tomorrow to kind of hardwire into that controller with a serial port and try to get that handler working. But the controller does need to be replaced. The heartbeat is dead on it, the processor is dead.
Do we know if it's under warranty?
It is definitely not under warranty. It's been there. It was put in when the jail was first opened,
Okay.
10 years old.
Figured I'd ask.
We did get the quote. It was $5,100, or after $5,100 and some change for the new controller.
So we got that, and that's then probably the same, because he told me he had 2 air conditioning unit problems. Now we're probably finding out that it's really one.
Yeah, that controller controls them all, and with that down, you can't make adjustments. It's,
Right.
It's kind of all just kind of in standalone mode right now,
That's-
trying to operate where it's at.
That's what I asked the other day. I kind of
Yeah.
wondered about that. Okay. And then the other issue was, what was it? I can't remember now. Air conditioning,
You probably told me, but
two was air conditioning. One was, anyway,
Is it a plumbing
and right
issue,
now there's
maybe?
only about
Was it plumbing?
21,000 in Eric's budget.
it was plumbing. He needed to have, they unstopped the sewer lines, and after they unstopped the sewer lines, it plugged right back up, which more or less probably was a surge from doing the sewer lines. But he wants to get run a camera down through there to see what's going on. And I just say that because, the reason I brought that up is because the awning, we're wanting to come up with funds for the awnings, and it would look good, and it does need to be kind of nice to go out the door without being hit with water immediately.
Sure.
But
Special lit, what's in, is there money in there? No?
We really got those
No.
very, very tight.
Yeah.
Very tight.
if you guys don't mind me saying this, I'm fine with him getting, us getting the awnings or whatever, but I kind of think we need to, for me, pass it on to the council and let them see if they can find the funds for it. That's me,
For
No,
the awnings or for the other?
with everything.
with everything, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the repairs he's got coming up, the awning, it's the county's building, we can't just let it
It's
fall
a county
down.
asset, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And it could be an inmate issue, especially with HVAC and everything else.
Yeah,
But-
Doug said it's hot. down
Yeah,
in
it
the
could be a
kitchen
civil
area.
rights issue.
But I can honestly
Whatever.
say, me sitting here right now, I can't say where the money's at.
Yeah.
It's not like,
Well, for me,
it's
I
not
would
one of
say,
my projects, I can,
yeah, I would say the plumbing and the HVAC take precedence over the awning for sure. And so, if we want to send it all to the council, and then if they can find money for the plumbing, HVAC, and awning, cool.
that's
I'm
what I
not,
think.
I'm not willing to break it up. It all has to go.
Yeah, I'll send it all, but
I mean,
yeah,
we're currently, we've got awnings that need repaired too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure when they come down, they'll want to do all of our buildings and not, come back later on. And, I guess they would, but
I think what we're saying is, we would like to have awnings put on the building. We'd like the repairs done on the building. send it to council for their, I mean, we're giving it our blessing, but it needs to go to the council
no,
to decide whether or not it could be done.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I make a motion to send it to the council for funding for awning invoice and some of the maintenance things, the air controller and the plumbing issues that he's got.
All contingent upon sufficient appropriation.
On funding, yeah.
Yeah, I'll second that.
And I'll make that unanimous. All right.
Wait.
Yep.
So, and I did request that the canine fund be put on the agenda, so. I'll make sure I get this right. Okay, so in 2015, prior to my tenure here at Scott County, the Board of Commissioners at the time created I believe it was a non-reverting fund, a special non-reverting fund to be known as the Scott County Sheriff's Canine Fund, into which shall be deposited funds received for services and donations. The fund will exist until terminated by the ordinance of the Scott County Commissioners. The ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval. It was signed and dated on the 18th day of February of 2015. So, to my, the way a special non-reverting fund works is that none of those money should ever be mingled and or returned to the general fund at any point.
Or used for other things, right?
Or used for other
Yeah.
purposes aside from those outlined in the fund's creation. I mean, I don't know that it specified exactly what the purpose of the fund, aside from that it was used for maintaining and upkeep of the canine program for the sheriff's department. My belief is that the monies that exist today inside of that fund are not based on any type of services performed, but based on donations by private citizens, whether that be corporate citizens or, individuals.
Yeah.
And that is the only money in that fund, right? And how much money, like as we say here today, is inside that fund?
We looked at it, it's a little bit in excess of $27,000.
Okay. So again, this is a fund that can only be used for the purposes, that was almost like a Western movie, like Whistle type situation. But can only be used for the upkeep of the canine program and dog at the sheriff's department. There's $29,000.
I think about 27.
$27,000 in the fund. I have the exact number. It's $27,319.10. All of those amounts appear to be donated amounts for that purpose. Can't use the money for any other purpose, and it's my understanding that there is a pending claim in the amount of $4,347 from the sheriff's department related to the canine program.
There is.
Right.
Yes.
What is the claim for?
I don't know. Do we have that claim?
It's going to time.
I was just saying, can you pull it up?
That's a pretty significant chunk.
The description just says canines. Titan graphics.
Yeah, it is Titan Graphics. Tent fronts and visor, caution canine graphics on doors. That's for $160. Cedar Ridge portable building for 6x12.
Oh, for Kyle's dog?
Dog kennel,
Charlie?
$2,200.
Okay. But he raised a lot of money for Charlie.
And then there's Canine Charlie. Looks like it goes to a Josh Burke. Female Dutch Shepherd Malinois. So that's for the dog, it looks like.
For the purchase of the.
$1,000. Here's Amazon supplies. Loving Pets Standard No-Tip Bowl, Viper Jute Puppy Bite Sleeve for training, Kong, different things. I don't know if you guys want to look at that because that one's a little more in detail. But there's several Amazon items.
When were these received?
May 23rd of 25. And that was too late to advertise them for the June council meeting, so they'll go on the advertisement for the July.
Gotcha. There's not anything on there about a car engine or anything like that?
Excuse me?
There's not anything about repairing a car or anything like that?
Not that I saw.
I haven't seen nothing.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Looking a little bit close, but I don't see anything.
Sure.
But I think, have these already been paid out of commissary and then reimbursed out?
I have no idea. I have not seen anything from commissary.
Well, it could have been paid out by the, I guess, the employee that took care of the dog, right? That's what it looked like,
Did you want to get one of these?
or at least one or two of them was on there like that.
So this is dated 4/20 of 2025. 5/23 of 2025. Okay. So, again, just going over kind of the history of the enabling ordinance that created the fund, what the fund
can be used for and how non-reverting funds work. In terms of, this is not money that ever mixes back in with the general fund like a reverting fund would. Seems to be the claims are in order in relation to the purposes of the ordinance. And with the idea that we certainly have no desire to impede, right, the operation of the canine program at the sheriff's department. I think that at this point, my understanding is that the actual appropriation, though, of any amounts has not occurred.
No, there's
Right.
not anything appropriated in that.
So, my suggestion for this board, who doesn't decide whether to appropriate or not, would be to approve the claim contingent upon sufficient appropriation by the county council from the canine fund, not from any other fund, not to like change their discretion in that situation, but if we have money that can only be used for a specific purpose, these seem to be, at least some of them, the big ones, like relatively one-time purchases, right? That
For a new setup.
for a new
Deputy
dog,
West
new
dog.
setup,
Yeah.
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 So, it's not something that they have, come up during either 2024 budget or, I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to speculate. So,
It's been a while since I got it done.
my suggestion would be to go ahead and send those claims on, with an approval that specifically says contingent, it explicitly says, our claims are always contingent, but explicitly says contingent on sufficient appropriation from the canine fund, by the county council.
Alright, I'll make a motion to move the funds on to the council, explicit to the canine fund
I'll
appropriation.
second.
I'll make that unanimous.
And I just want to again make it clear that the canine fund is an enabling ordinance that allows for very specific uses. The canine program and only the canine program. Any other, non-related purpose for that, I would need to see some form of justification for the use of those funds in any other manner. Then it better relate itself back to the operation of the canine program.
All right. Next item up on the agenda is transfer station repairs. We
And I have one more thing.
Sure.
Just.
You don't want to talk
I'm gonna
about
do this for the rest of the meeting, hopefully, considering the fact that we're talking about, these issues right now, I would just ask that we amend the agenda to add, consideration of, a request for a request to Jennifer to make a, request to the county council for an emergency meeting pursuant to Indiana Code 36-2-3 7D, for discussions of, for a meeting for discussions of expenditures of county monies for a purpose for which an appropriation has not been made but has been ordered by a court.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
The reason I make that is because I think we, have been in public meetings, we have a court order, and I think, Jennifer, what we're saying now to you is, and I've sent you a draft.
Okay.
It needs your signature and everything, should you decide to use that draft, to call that meeting for the purposes of discussing the appropriation pursuant to that court order.
I'll be out of town on Monday, but I can possibly maybe try to.
And we don't have to attend.
Okay, good.
It's a county council meeting. This is the statute specifically is under Chapter 3 of Title 36, Article 2, which is county fiscal bodies. So it is the statute that deals with the calling of any meetings related to administration of budget or otherwise by the fiscal body. There's a series of provisions that allow for special meetings in various circumstances. This is a provision that allows for an emergency meeting following the issuance of a court order that is in excess of or distinct from any purposes for which an appropriation has not been made.
Okay, good deal. Excuse me.
And we would still need to publish that notice. Post it, send it to news media. Right, sorry. That's the last thing that I'll try to stay quiet the rest of the meeting.
Okay, on that, Adam moved, and we'll need to amend the agenda, but also accept the other, right? Is accept the, request for the meeting?
Yes, I would just, I don't know if I did that, that's right. I would ask that, I think Adam did move, I don't know if I heard.
Did he?
Greg did.
Oh, he did second?
I was thinking about.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Or about Brooks.
All right.
All right. So next item on the agenda is transfer station repairs. Who asked to have this put on the agenda?
Actually, I had it on there and I just thought maybe you were gonna keep working on that.
Because it
Okay.
was on the last one.
I mean,
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
specifically, what are we?
Highway department was out there moving all the debris. They did a good job.
Yeah.
There was a lot of mud and stuff.
And we removed organic
Yes.
debris.
Yes.
Any solid waste was just separated out.
Yes.
Yes.
Organic materials were removed from the site
Yes.
and then burned at a burn site at a different location, is my understanding.
Yes, the wood.
The wood.
Yes.
Yeah. I know Steve and the guys were out there running trucks, and Steve was throwing it in the back as fast as he could. So they were doing good.
Yeah.
Took some water and stuff out there to them, and they were killing.
Yep.
So I appreciate it.
So that's where we're at with that. So that's all going off the hill.
Yeah.
We've got, with the council giving us the money to get the stuff fixed, we have contracted, with, Thomas Plastic Machinery to make the, open top dumpster frames. We have to still put steel roofing on top of the frames once they get them. I just didn't want to pay Thomas to do that. It's something I could do myself. I think Jonathan White is going to give us the steel to roofing to do that. So I don't think that's going to come to a cost to us. Also, we have gotten a hold of Jason Babs.
It's where land right there.
Where'd it go?
Landline said it. Look under his folder, it might be underneath.
That picture of the signs.
I've got one here.
There it is. So this addresses, okay, first off, ignore this price at the top. Because that's not a real total. It's a close, it's not. That is actually just for the signs, but there's gonna be letters and words that, so you see the lines,
Qualified, yeah.
they're gonna be slid in
Yeah, yeah.
prices. That does not include those letters and numbers.
Gotcha.
Because at this time, he doesn't know how much that's gonna cost. It's Amazon, more likely. So, but this takes care of all the pertinent information, that gets us back in compliance with, IDM. He has, me and him sat down today and got this, if you guys are all right with the layout, how it looks. It's got the information that's on there, we have to have on there, but if you're all right with the way the letters look and so on and so forth.
As long as it's functional to where we don't get in trouble, I'm
Yeah.
good with it.
Which is why I brought that up to you, because, Andrew, because it does say this property is under 24-hour video surveillance. So anyway, so that's that. That'll bring us in compliance with the signs. I'm sorry, I'm drawing blank right now. What do you remember? Anything? What else is we?
Now we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow we're having at 1 o'clock. We're having a Teams meeting here, this room. If you can make it,
I can make the Teams meeting.
you can.
Yeah, I'll make it.
Okay.
Call in.
You'll make it.
I'll make it.
Okay, so we'll all be here for that. Let's see. Anyway, just in general, I'm sorry. If there's something you want to know, just ask me. I'll be glad to tell you what it is. I'm just,
Did you send the link yet to that, or do we have a
So I
Teams
did
link?
send a link to everybody a couple weeks ago, or maybe a week ago. It didn't.
It's not on my Outlook. That's
When
why
I-
She just said something a while ago.
When I clicked it on my end, it removed it from my email somehow. Like when I responded and said I received this or whatever.
Yeah, it would have went to your calendar at that
Yeah.
point, yeah.
Yeah, well, so I just learned that 5 seconds ago when you said that. But I think Jennifer did send out an additional invite just before the meeting to everybody.
Okay.
and you're
Teams
going
meeting.
You could
Yes,
Forward the
I did.
invite?
I did.
I would
I
be
invited it.
physical.
I
In our
sent it
Outlook?
just before. Yes.
Okay.
It went to the
To our
same.
calendars?
It should come through your email exactly like your
To accept the
agendas and
meeting.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I can take the link and I'll directly email it to you.
All
if
right,
want
thank
me
you,
to.
yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't checked my email since I've got here. I mean,
Apparently I don't know how email works.
If you send an invite to video at scottcounty.in.gov, that's linked up to there already on the bill.
Yeah, she's got that. It's ready to go.
Ready to roll.
Thank you, I know earlier it wasn't on my calendar, so that's why. And I didn't see anything to accept a meeting to
Well,
get to my
I did earlier, and
So
it
it would
put it
go
to
to my
the calendar, but it takes away your email when it does it, or it seems like it takes away that notification, so.
Yeah.
All right. So anybody have any other questions about transfer station repairs? I was wanting to be specific because at this point in the game, repairs at the transfer station is a pretty broad
I
subject.
understand, yes, I understand that, and I probably should have put more,
No, you're fine.
updates on
I
there,
just
but
wanted to
yeah.
make sure, the
Yeah.
reason I asked, I wanted to make sure I addressed and
Yes.
answered the question if somebody had
Yeah.
something specifically.
Yeah.
So if we're done with that, then I'm gonna move on to the next item on the agenda. If you guys have any questions on it?
Nope.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is satellite collection site fines.
And I really don't know if you have any more on that either, we may know tomorrow
Yeah.
more.
Tomorrow, and then we addressed a lot of the satellite stuff earlier with Mr. Blevins and
Yes.
Mr. George.
Okay. So we have, is that satellite collection fines, is that part of what?
I think that'll be part of.
I didn't know the
tomorrow.
satellites. I knew we.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not exactly certain what's gonna be covered tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I think that should just
Yeah,
be
let's-
IDEM.
Yeah, let's,
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, okay,
All
okay.
lumped together, yeah.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
not sure.
All right, so, but, okay, so that is really IDM, I got you. Covered, I thought we had a new development. Covered bridge, certification.
Okay, and this is just a letter stating that, yes, we have a covered bridge. It's the one there at Leota. It is a little, but it's something we have to do every year. We have to
Yeah.
come in the state.
Yeah.
So if you don't care, if you approve it, and there's a place for each one of you to sign your name, and then we send it back to the state certifying that we have a covered bridge.
Yeah, I make a motion that we certify with the state that we have a covered bridge.
I'll
in
second.
Leota.
I'll make that unanimous. Adam, you're not originally from here, but we got that bridge built, per dollar.
For a dollar?
Yeah.
It's a nice bridge.
That was built by Lloyd Brown.
Nice bridge for down.
Huh?
It was a nice.
It was,
bridge.
it was. It
Yeah.
was a really good bargain. Okay, Area Plan Advisory Board appointment. This is the next item. Does anybody have anybody that would like to nominate?
I do. Back in January, when put out feelers for anyone that was interested, Mr. Evan Campbell reached out, he was very interested in it, and we appointed, CivilCon, I'm drawing a blank.
Andrew Boswell.
Oh, Andrew
Evan Boswell, and then one other. Great additions to the board, and since I called Mr. Campbell the other day when the email came out saying we would need another, asked if he was still interested, he said that he is, and so I would make my recommendation to Mr. Campbell.
Okay.
Unless y'all have someone else that y'all feel differently about, then I'll entertain those.
I'm gonna make a nomination for Matt Busick to be on that board.
Well, okay. I'm going to go, with no, disrespect
No,
or anything to, Mr. Campbell. I appreciate him wanting to do that. I think I'm going to lean toward Matt Busick. And the reason is, that we're dealing with zoning laws, and having a state police officer on that board might not be a bad idea. I mean, because he sees a lot.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
sees, and he deals with a lot, but, so. I'm gonna go with, I'll make a motion for Matt.
Is that,
When you talk to him, will you please tell him thank you?
is there a second for?
well, I think we need to go do it officially, because we both put nominations out.
Okay, so, did you motion?
I put out for Mr. Evan Campbell, Mr. Prince put out for Matt Busick, Randy put out, so I think we need to do an official pass-through, unless I'm mistaken.
So I would say, yeah, if you wanna vote, just move to nominate
Or finalize.
Matt Busick, as a, board's appointment for the area plan, is that what we're?
Yeah.
Okay. So Greg,
First,
Yes.
Randy,
Matt Beauty, yes.
I'll make that unanimous.
All right, EMA 911 director position deadline extension, interim director pay.
Yeah, talked about extending the deadline for, I don't think we officially made it happen in a public meeting, so we need to make that happen. And on that, and then since Miss Ward has been interim director since early May, and she's still been receiving her salary as assistant director, I was gonna advocate on her behalf to make sure she gets it, since she's been coming in 3 a.m. covering all shifts as the director should be, and I think she should be compensated for her time.
Yeah, and we did that previously. When there was a vacancy in that position, just relying on the same advice we received from Wagner, Irwin, and Shilly at the time. They said that was fine as long as it was done with your all's approval.
Let me ask you this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But can we do this and go back to the point where she can be compensated back to the point where when he was...
Yeah, I would make it...
September?
I would make it retroactive
100%.
To the date of...
officially started, right?
But would that mess up taxes? Or we had to issue a corrected W-2?
If you went back and paid into last year.
No.
And I was gonna say, I think in the past what we've done,
Ret-
it's only gone back to like when Jeremy resigned.
It's only retroactive to the date of resignation.
Okay.
I understand that there may be like
Yeah,
a
no, I see
concern
where, yeah.
about
No, that's-
like
okay, we can
whether or
do
not
that.
she had taken on additional duties. I just want to say the job description.
Yeah,
is
that's
very-
where I was getting ready to go.
The
Yeah.
job
Yes.
description is very clear that in the absence of or inability of the acting director, the deputy director performs the functions. Now, with that said, when we've gone into circumstances of a similar nature where an acting director is out for an extended period of time, or there's a vacancy for an extended period of time, we have compensated that deputy director for essentially performing all functions related to that vacancy or position. But I would say that it should be backdated to
The date of his.
Day of
the
resignation.
date of resignation. Yeah.
And then when do we want to put, well, do we need to vote on that first?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to backdate Mrs. Ward's interim director pay back to the day of Mr.
Resignation.
McDaniel's resignation.
I'll second.
I'll make that unanimous.
And then with the position extension, how long do we want to set that for? What is the typical extension? And is there one way? I had people contact me about Indeed and all that. Like, is that authorized, or is there like only coming into your office is the way? Or I had several people ask me questions.
Well, and I'll tell you, I tried to set up an Indeed because I was asked to either put it in Louisville Courier Journal. That was over $600 for an ad. I tried Indeed and ZipRecruiter, and when I did both of those, it looked like there was either one had a $25 charge and it had a $33 charge per day. So I just backed out and thought they were done. But Indeed, suddenly I started getting resumes. And what it is, when they're giving me that, I will send back to them. I'm sending them the full job description and the application, the Scott County application, tell them they have to fill that out.
Okay.
And we've set the deadline for this Friday at 4:30.
Oh, okay.
There are several. And a lot of them, the qualifications, they probably don't meet that. So what I'm thinking is maybe just emailing all of you everything that I've gotten, let you pour through that and decide who you want to interview out of that.
Yeah. So.
No question.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if we have we have an established position with criteria, qualifications, and credentials that you expect that position to have, it's my statement to you guys that in advance of the executive session, if you determine that you only want to do so many interviews because there's only so many qualified, responsive candidates, you may do that. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Yeah, if you send me everything, I can create a OneDrive link for all of us at this table, and then do my ranking based on FEMA, EMA, and all that with certifications and whatnot. Or not ranking, but who's qualified, who's not.
Yeah, send that to all of us though.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll just do a mass, when I do it, I'll do a mass email, just like I do with the,
Yeah.
Zach, do you wanna be listed on that, or would you,
For the,
all the email, or all the resumes that go out there and applications?
no.
I was gonna say, cause it's gonna be a lot, it's gonna be
No,
a
I'm good.
mailbox full, yeah, okay.
yeah,
But I will put it on the 3 of you, and I'll just send it out like I do
Yeah,
the meeting
and
information.
then I can compile it all together for all of us.
All right. We'll move on if everybody's good. Just Property Foundation removal. That's you, attorney.
Yeah, I mean, again, I have no problem with the proposed plan. I've not received any of the requested information related to who we're talking about, what we're talking about removing, and I've not received any of I think Mr. White was basically gonna get all that stuff. I just haven't received it.
Okay.
As soon as I receive that, you know, I'll be happy to send an email to Jennifer and say, put it on the next meeting's agenda.
Okay.
And I'll just leave it off
Yeah,
then
you
until
can
we
just leave
receive
it off
I don't
until we
care.
get that. It may come tomorrow, you know.
It's true,
Yeah.
true.
All right, sounds good. Floodplain administrator, and we touched on that a little bit tonight. We're kind of still in limbo, right, with this?
Well,
Do you have any, is there money appropriated? Okay.
No, that's the issue.
Okay. So, same situation, I would say, from my perspective here, knowing that I think there are some pending requests for review and approvals by the floodplain administrator, I would suggest that we resend the Wagner-Irwin and Shiley approved position description to the county council to consider appropriations for that position. Now, the way I feel like it's gone so far is it feels like the consensus seems to be that this is at best a kind of part-time, you know, position. Looking at other counties, looking at, you know, or it's incorporated in some way into, you know, a full-time job that has other duties that are not floodplain administrator based. I think that we need to maybe have some direct communication with the county council about like detailing those thoughts and see what their expectation or plan would be in terms of at what funding level would they be comfortable with. Should we get that answered, then we know,
Then we can put out.
like with Kevin, for instance, is that something he'd be interested in? Is that something that somebody else might want to take up? But until there's a dollar amount,
That's true.
it seems like nobody's
We're
gonna
not
do
going
something
nowhere
for
with it.
free. But I can't stress enough how important it is, I think at this point, especially with pending requests, like this needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I agree.
I make a motion to send the job description to Wagner, Seeley, and then,
well, I think we've done that.
do we have, we have
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
we're
All right,
good.
We
we'll
just
send it
gotta
to
have them
council.
send it to the council.
All right,
And see what they think it's worth.
Yeah.
let's get it to the council and try to get him on board.
Second.
You know, I'm
I'll
not
make
certain
that
that there is
unanimous.
a job description on that. I don't believe that there is.
I don't think there is because we sat in here the other
We've
night.
talked
thought
about it
looking
back
at-
and forth, and we asked them for funding to do something, but I don't think we've ever, in fact, I'm sitting here thinking, I don't even know what the job description would be. I'd have to contact
I was about to
DNR to
ask.
get that.
Who was the, like,
I thought-
overseer party or agency that would?
I thought Wagner and Shirley already had a job
I'm
description.
sure
They
they probably
may,
do.
they may, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's
Do we have?
do this.
No.
No,
Let's do this. sounds like let's contact Wagner Irwin Shealy. See if there is an existing, already approved job description. Maybe it needs to be updated a little bit.
Yeah.
Or maybe modified in the alternative for a part-time or additional duties type role.
Yeah.
And who is that at Wagner that we usually do?
Lori.
Lori?
Lori, who's,
Okay.
well, Eddie Rooker
Addie
does a
Rooker,
lot of that.
That's right,
Yeah.
it's Addie. Let's do that. Assuming that we have
Lori.
Huh?
Cillian, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Assuming that we either, one, have a pre-existing job description that's good. Let's try to get it on our meeting July 2nd. Let's try and let them know that we'd like, this maybe has a clock on it. We'd like to get that by July 2nd. That way we can get it onto the council's meeting
Okay.
for July 8th. I realize that hampers their ability to actually advertise for
Right.
additional appropriation, but maybe we can come up with a number, and then in the meantime, that next month or sometime, we can start advertising as if we were to get this funding level, would someone be interested?
So we're gonna have to come up with a number to send to the council, correct?
Not necessarily, you don't have to.
No.
No.
No, because I've got ranges from all over when I did the search for who has it.
Yeah, and maybe that's a good thing, just like let Adam.
Well, there may be ranges, but Kevin has his range.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And
That's what
I think that's that's our important range.
Okay, so I think we want Kevin to do it. And Kevin agrees that he will do it, but he needs to be compensated for it. But do we all agree that we want Kevin to do it?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, I do, you do.
Yeah, Kevin has a lot on his plate. Like, I think Kevin's great. And do I want to add more to his plate? Not necessarily. Because I don't know when he spends time with his family. When he runs around. So maybe there's someone out there that do it for less, but be just as great. I don't know. And that's why, get a number. Like, I understand where you're coming from.
No.
Trust Kevin.
I understand exactly where you come from, and I don't say that. I'm not going to say that I disagree with you.
Yeah.
I think that we're up against the wall
We
on
are.
the amount of
We are.
time, and I don't know if we're going to be able to find. So
But what
maybe
the
this
council
year.
can't find- yeah, I agree. For temporary time being, yeah,
I don't know where else we're going to get nobody.
I agree with you. But I also don't know if the council can find that money that he's requesting. And so just trying to balance out things, right?
Well,
like
yeah.
possibilities.
But if the council don't, then
Yeah. So
We don't
gotta
have
get
one.
the funding first. We have to figure out where the funding is to do anything else.
yeah. So
I would still say, start with Wagner Irwin Shealy, check and see if they've got a pre-existing job condition, the job description. If we need to modify it to make a job description fit in the mold of like an additional duties type description, maybe that needs to be in the request to Addie. And then I still think that we can plan on July 2nd meeting and discussing with the idea that in the interim, we can communicate to county council that this is, on the horizon, and these are, whether it be Kevin's amounts, right? And I don't know specifically what they are.
I don't recall off the top of my
I
head.
don't think I was included in any discussion or his communication to any one of you. If we have amounts that exist in other counties, I think more information the better. Just
well, I was going to suggest that maybe when we have our workshop meeting, we also discuss this.
workshop for the
Satellites.
satellites? And when do you plan to do that?
Well, I don't know. I was gonna ask everybody if we can figure that out. But I think this
It
is,
would need to be council too, wouldn't it? Or
I think this is also something we need to come up with.
there's, yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, it's, I mean, you could be jumbling a couple things into a meeting that, again, just because it's a workshop, the public can come in. I can just tell you from past experience that any discussions related to transfer station, satellite sites
Yeah.
could garner a lot of public
Attention.
participation,
Mhm.
which is always a good thing. And you may have an extremely long meeting if you're also adding on a discussion with the county council about the floodplain administrator position.
Well, no, I think I think we've all agreed that we want Kevin to do it, or at least start off doing it.
Well, that number's gonna be anywhere from
But the-
$15,000 to $20,000.
I think that we need to, past experience, I think we need to tell the council, make a suggestion in how much we're looking to compensate Kevin for.
I don't know what Kevin's requested compensation was.
18,000.
Is that what he,
Then I would send it
Yeah,
like that.
yes, I didn't know he
As
had,
a
okay.
minimum,
yeah.
you know?
Specifically, it's
I-
$18,096.
Okay, yeah, I was about to pull.
I didn't know that he,
Then I would go ahead and say,
that's what I would do.
check with Wagner, send that number on to council
Yes.
with the idea that on the 18th, or sorry, the 8th, July, we want them to consider, is there a way to get the advertisement for the additional appropriation?
It can be done now, yeah. I'm still working on the one for this, it'll have to go in this Friday for that July 8th meeting.
Tell me if y'all disagree with this. Go ahead and advertise at $20,000. Okay. The way additional appropriations work, you can always come down, and the council has the discretion to work within the range. So if Jennifer, we were to say, Jennifer, please advertise at, $20,000 for the purposes of allowing council to discuss our request, we'll work on the job description between now and then. Hopefully it's consistent with, what that pay structure is, and, on the 8th, they can vote to consider it or not.
Yeah. So, just looked it up, in the state of Indiana, floodplain administrators' salaries, with it, whether it's not their full-time job or not, or additional duties, salaries can range anywhere from $41,900 up to $80,000. So it's a wide range. All of Bartholomew County, Columbus, in 2018, the range salary that was posted on Gateway was 40 to 58 for their floodplain administrator.
So Kevin's offering well below market value.
Again, I'll just say that.
Well, that was the total salary. I don't know if they
Yeah,
were.
and I don't know,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
good point, that we don't know what other duties. So, again, if Kevin's number's 18 and you're okay with it, if you advertise at 20, you at least give council a range, to approve of or not.
Yeah.
Because they can always go down, they can't go above 20.
And Jennifer, I'm sorry to jump here, but just in case we can't get Andrew
Average.
in front of the council this month, could you add advertising the Atira thing for Friday? And then I'll reach out to Danielle and see if we can get a possible extension
And it's low
in
as
case
21,800.
council can't meet.
22.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just,
They can't.
JR said he was gonna try his best, but we'd be looking at
They can go
28.
above that. What do you
Yeah,
say
I mean,
about that?
I think-
What do you say about that?
So,
I think 20's fine.
You think
Yeah.
Yeah, because
So I'll-
that's what
I'll beg him to
Kevin
leave
figured
Danielle
to death.
myself.
And He looked like he was pretty,
I just-
So you need the 43,
no, I don't need it, but
That's what I'm
I
advertising.
think he's looked at it probably, right, but I think he's looked at it fairly. I'd push for the 20 on that.
Okay.
Alright. Make a motion to send $20,000.
To advertise and
To advertise.
send to, council for consideration on
For the floodplain ministry.
July 8th.
For 20,000. Yes, I second.
And I'll make that unanimous. Did he tell you that number, or was that in the email, or?
He did, he
It
sent
wasn't
a
me.
long email.
I seen that email, but I guess I
Make a
didn't
motion
see
on
that
that,
part
you
of it.
should on the Terra as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's why I was wanting to have a workshop meeting, I didn't,
Yeah, it was all
didn't have the number.
And then Atera separately.
Yeah, make a motion to advertise a Terra for $43,654. For council's next meeting on July 8th for Director Campbell.
I probably got interrupted and didn't get through, so email me also.
Do you wanna make a second on that?
Okay.
A Terra autopilot, that's way in case, council need to do it. for the-
Yeah, I'll second that. Make that unanimous.
All right, I'll make that unanimous, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Consideration of regular special invoices.
Oh, we don't have any.
Huh?
No, not one.
Consideration of payroll. Does anybody get paid?
Yep, hang on, I didn't get the book.
Consideration of minutes. Everybody read the minutes?
Yes, sir.
Motion to approve minutes.
I'll second.
You all right? Then I'll make that, I'll pass it. I'll make that unanimous. Better be careful the way I say I'll pass it. Has everybody looked over payroll and agreed with payroll?
I'll make a motion to approve payroll.
I second.
I'll make that unanimous. Does anybody have any comments or?
Yes, I actually forgot to bring one thing up during the meeting. The health department's office up in Austin, they have to be out by the 30th. They had the office during the Negro Exchange,
Yes.
and they have office furniture they need to dispose of.
Yeah.
So I'm
We talked
trying to get
about
up there
that
this
today.
week, but I just totally forgot about it. Had other meetings and stuff, but don't know if we need to get, do we have a trailer or Eric or what do we do to accommodate?
We have a couple blue sea containers at the health department. Now,
One of them
at
empty.
John Joe.
One of them empty.
Yeah.
So I could get my 16-foot flatbed, go up there, or do we want to try to put them on Gov Deals and sell them? Some
No.
desk chairs
Because
Well,
I think some of that equipment we were talking is decent.
for
so
City Hall?
We may need it, so I'd like to hang on to it until we can look through it, you
Okay.
know?
Yeah, Bella, I got pictures of them all. I can send them to y'all too. I'll try to go up there Friday and take a look and see.
Yeah. I think it'd be worthwhile to hang on to some of it until we figure out what we need and don't need.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna wanna get a lock
Yeah.
for the sea container.
If Eric didn't have one, I'd go acquire one and then pass off the key or whatever, dispatch or health department, whatever. But what was another key situation? Oh, Young Marines.
Yes.
There was a situation, did you get a call last night, Randy, that I got this morning
I
at 4 o'clock?
5:30, yeah. I got a phone call, but I didn't get it until, actually, I didn't see I missed the call until later in the afternoon, but I guess they went into the building or something and set the alarm off, right?
No, one of the garage doors and one of the bays was rolled up halfway or enough where someone could get in. And so one of the deputies sitting out there two of the deputies went in to secure the location, make sure it was good. They closed it, but then realized they didn't have a key to get out or lock it, secure it. And so they called around and went to dispatch. Dispatch didn't have a key. And so we need to try, just like with a shed or a cabin, we might need to get someone out there to make a key or figure out where the key is. And
There's a key on the door.
oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So now they know. So yeah, they had several calls this morning.
Yeah.
Easy enough.
So, and I didn't make the number. It was somebody's birthday, but I know the number, and I'll give it to you guys right now. But I would not say it out loud. So, Greg, do you have anything?
Just let everybody know, I was able to have our quarterly meeting. Some of our local officials and our state representatives. And so I want to thank everybody who participated in those, and Mayor Amick for hosting that at the Science Park today. So it's a good way to talk about some of the things that are going on at the state level and how that affects us here at the local level, and then it also helps those guys, and when we can provide some feedback to them. So I want to thank all of our officials for our state and leaders and our mayors and clerk treasurers and our auditor for making it out there. And I think we had a few other people that was in attendance as well. So I want to thank all those folks who sat around and talked about some things to help us be better moving forward. So it's collectively as a group, and we're all one big team, and we got to make sure we're striving towards the same goals, not only at the state level, but at the local levels too. So.
Agreed.
Yeah.
How do we get on that invite list?
That's something I put together, and it's one of those things where, obviously from a commissioner standpoint, that's an official meeting, and it's not. It's just one of those things that I kind of put together to lead, and so I mean, any time that, obviously if there's some concerns or questions or anything, feel free, let me know what those are and those kind of things. So that's all I got.
Any comments from our attorney?
I don't have anything. I mean, I did want to make sure that I advised you guys about, or not necessarily just you, but any of the boards that regularly have to publish notices about some of the changes effective July 1st. I think that was done, but I think we've already talked a little bit about it. And I think that's it.
Oh, I do. I have some. We need to probably set a meeting so we can have this workshop about what we want to do with the satellites.
Yeah, with the SASCO documentation and overall, like, we do need to get together and gather all the facts.
Mhm.
Like the contract that auto renews now, what do we have in it? What needs to be taken out? What needs to be updated? What language do we need to put in for it that takes the financial liability and fines off us as the county? And then, but also make sure the citizens are protected from not being taken advantage of. Not saying anyone would.
Well, I mean, that's what we need to work out.
Yeah, 100%.
So we can discuss moving forward how we want this program,
Yeah.
which direction we want to go, how we want it, if we decide we want to keep it, how it's going to, we're going to.
Do we want
Because
to
it's
wait?
definitely gotta go through some changes.
Do we want to wait until the scales are operational and seeing what the traffic is there before we do anything with the satellite sites? I don't want to mess up one thing when we don't have the information from the other coming in, if that makes sense.
I
Where are
think.
we on the stickers? How many do we
The
have?
last I counted, the last Shasta County, we had 280 left. I have not heard anybody come in. I don't know if we've had any more sales in the last week or so. I think people might be kind of holding off now, trying to see
Yeah.
what's going to
Since there's
happen.
been talk about it, yeah, yeah.
The stickers, to order stickers is not
It's not a huge
that
number.
breaking number. I mean,
It's like $600 and some dollars, I think.
So,
And it's twice a year, and I can't remember how many. I want to say 3,000, but I'm not certain. So
yeah, so for the year, it's $1,300. And so, if we have to buy X amount of stickers, then fine. I mean, until we can get a plan. It's not that,
Yeah, the stickers, not really
yeah. it's-
much of an issue. I
We
mean,
can keep it going like you're saying. Alex.
Yeah.
And I agree with that.
But I do think it's,
Does something need to be done 100%? Like,
I mean, we're within probably a couple of weeks of having scale, so that's really not an issue.
Yeah,
But I think that we have issues with the satellites that we need to address
I agree.
quickly.
I wholeheartedly agree, yeah.
Either way we go, there's issues. So maybe we can
Think it over.
send an email out
Yeah.
and you guys, we can decide on a workshop meeting.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right, if everybody's got it, I'll take a motion to close this
I'll make a
meeting.
motion.
Second.
I'll make it unanimous.